review with them or catch up. So I guess even before we start, I just want to say thank you for participating. It means a lot to me because this is part of my learning experience, and at the same time, I hope that this is going to be a good tool for our coordinators. So just before we even start, I'm just going to kind of say who's with us today. So Denise and Pamela are two of our 7 pilot location coordinators. And then we have Gabby, which is actually my niece because I didn't know if people were going to register, and my sister Melanie. So they are, actually my niece Gabby is a child of a military member who's been medically released, and Melanie, our brother, is in the military. So having a kind of a third eye to kind of making sure that the information is clear. So yeah.
What a great representation we have.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I'm very happy. So welcome.
Thank you, Rach.
Oh, that's cute. It's always Rachelle for us, people who work with her.
Yeah.
At home, it's Cheech.
Oh my gosh. The disadvantage of having siblings to your presentation. I embarrass you. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So welcome to this interactive presentation about the Veteran Family Program. We're glad that you joined in early so that we can assist you with any troubleshooting you may experience during the login process. While we were waiting, you can use the chat on the right-hand side of your screen to write what you hope to learn from this session.
So what do you hope to learn from the session? Just try the chat out now. It's kind of fun to try it out. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. It's at the bottom. And this also will show us that you all see where the chat is. There we go. How you're presenting the program virtually and how I could do so. Oh, Pamela, yes, you're in the right program because Pamela is one of our students for April.
Oh, good. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. If you even just want to put hello in the presentation box, that would be great, just so I know you found the chat. There we go, to learn about Veterans Family Program. Denise, good. Melanie and Gabby, so we've got everybody knowing where the chat is. That's great.
Perfect. Okay, so before we start, we're just going to go through some virtual classroom rules and tool review. The participant panel is located on the top right-hand side of the WebEx screen. This is here where you can click the mute or unmute on the little microphone next to your name. Let's go ahead and try this. So can everybody mute and unmute? These are, oh, perfect. This is great. We will ask you to mute if there is background noise for the most part. We try to leave everyone unmuted to hear the laughter. So it just makes things a little bit more real. You can raise your hand by clicking on the hand picture, and once click on it again to lower it. Let's try that. Please raise your hand and then lower your hand.
So Denise, Melanie, Pamela, raise your hand.
Right, go to participant for that.
So it's on the participant on the right-hand side of your screen. Underneath all the names, you're going to see a green check, and to the left of that, you'll see a red hand. It looks kind of like this. This is just an illustration, but
it's what you had done before.
Yeah, I know, but oh, there's the hand. Okay, I'm going to close this. Okay. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Good.
Excellent. Denise, did you have a question, or just your hand still up? Oh.
Hi, Denise. Can you hear us? Oh, there we go.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
We don't want you to get us our hands.
No.
I can. I'm having problems.
Oh. I'm having a hard... Margaret, were you able to hear Denise?
Yes. Denise? I will work with Denise.
Okay. I'll continue, I guess. Moving on to the green check and red X. This tool allows you to respond to yes or no questions anytime during the presentation. Let's practice. If you have a pet, give me a green check for yes or a red X for no. Okay, great. So, oh wow, three out of 4. That's great. So what kind of pet do you have, Denise? So if or maybe not, I'll say Melanie. What kind of pet do you have?
A dog.
A dog, okay. And Gabby?
I have a cat.
Ooh, a cat. Okay, cool. So we have different types of pets. That's great. So finally, we'll see the smiley emoticons. Beside the smiley emoticon icon, you will see a black arrow. You will see this arrow is in many of the tools. It is called a drop-down menu. A drop-down menu tells you that there is a choice. If you click on the drop-down menu beside the smiley emoticon, you will see a choice of emoticons. We ask participants to use the coffee cup every time they leave the session for a minute so that the facilitator, me, or host, knows that the participant has stepped away on purpose and that they are not having IT issues. So would you go and try the emoticon button for the coffee cup or any type, just so that I know that you're able to find it? That's great. Thank you. Now I'd like you to look at the lower right corner of your monitor, the chat feature, which we've already kind of tested out, which is another tool. All you need to do to use your chat is to write in that chat box in the bottom right-hand side of the screen, and then hit send. Since we've already practiced it, we're not going to do it again, but know that you can choose. You'll see all participants. There is a black arrow on the right-hand side of it, and you can choose who you write to. So you can click on it and write specifically to Denise or to Pamela or to Gabby. But for now, we can just do all participants so everybody can see what you write. Okay. Is there any questions? Please raise your hand if you have any questions before we continue. No questions? Okay. Then we'll continue. Oh, sorry. So welcome to the virtual information session all about Veteran Family Program. My name is Rachelle, and I'm the Family Information Line Counselor with the Veteran Family Program. I'm also a spouse of a medically released Canadian Armed Force member, and I'm very proud to be delivering this program information to you today. Now I'd like to introduce to you the producer, Margaret McKenzie. Over to you, Margaret.
Well, thank you. Yes, so my name is Margaret McKenzie, and I am the Virtual Program Coordinator for the Military Family Resource Center for Prince Edward Island, and I work from my home office in Manitoba. I am a military spouse with 24 years of experience and teach participants how to bring a live presentation to a virtual audience. In addition to program development both locally for PEI and nationally for all of Canada and OutCan. Back to you, my dear.
Thanks, Margaret. So we're just going to take a quick look at the agenda, what we're going to see in the next hour. So the Veteran Family Program mission. So what is the objective of the Veteran Family Program? The background, so how it all started. And with the Veteran Family Program comes 3 points of access, which is our Family Resource Center. There are 32 in Canada, and in this program there are 7 who are part of the pilot program. Then there's the Family Information Line, which is a 24-hour 1-800 number, and then the familyforce.ca, which is a website. We're going to look at the demographics, so the population that we're serving within the program, the factors that are creating a good transition within the civilian community. We're going to look at a tool that has been developed with the Veteran Family Program, which is the Veteran Family Program Journal. So far, it's had a lot of good feedback and comments, and it has been a really useful tool for our veterans and their families. We're also going to look at the statistics. So we're a few months in the program, and I'd like to show you where we've where we've come from, really, or where we're at with the program. We've been quite successful. And then last but not least, we'll look at some questions. If you have questions about the project or about the program, that'll be a good time to ask. Do you have any questions so far? Is everything clear as mud?
Clear.
All right.
It reminded me of a hospital. Clear.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, so we'll start with the mission of the Veteran Family Program. Would anyone like to read the slide? Give me a green check if this is something you would like to do. Okay, Gabby. Oh, wow. So I think our first one was Gabby, so I'll go with Gabby. Could you read the mission of the program?
The program will support medically released members and their families and effectively prepare them for and transition into civilian life 2 years post-release date, providing enhanced information and referral services, offering transition programs, and providing access to intervention support services.
Great, thank you so much for reading. So does anybody have questions regarding the mission of the Veteran Family Program? Give me a green check if you have questions. Melanie, do you have any questions?
No, sorry, I forgot to take it off.
Okay, that's okay.
So, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Yes?
If you were to write all this in layman's terms in one sentence, what would you say the mission would be? What is the mission of it?
So the mission is to provide services to medically released members and their families so that they can have a successful transition 2 years post-release date, so 2 years after their release date. And we're going to do this through the Military Family Resource Center, the Family Information Line, and the Family Force website by providing information and referral within the civilian communities, offering enhanced transition programs, and providing access to support services. Does that? So I'm kind of rephrasing what the mission is, but
that's great. In my language, that's good, because sometimes I find that the military spouse, not everybody speaks my language.
Sorry, but yes, in general terms, that's what it is. So the background, how all of this started, is that the Government of Canada and Veterans Affairs Canada have invested $10.1 million in a 4-year pilot project to provide medically releasing veterans and their families with access to military family support programs from October 1st, 2015 to September 30th, 2019. Support services will include welcome and community orientation sessions, parenting workshops, child care, outreach, information referral, personal growth and development programming, employment, and educational assistance. These services have traditionally been available only to still serving members of the Canadian Armed Forces. So now they're extended to the medically released veteran. Okay.
Is it only to the medically released veterans or any veterans?
So it's only to the medically released veteran and their families.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody else have questions? That was a good question. That was a good question, Gabby. So our next slide. We're now going to take a minute to review the 3 lines of access to support our medically released veterans, starting with the Military Family Resource Center. Would someone like to read this slide? Give me a happy face if you'd like to read. Okay, Melanie?
Military Family Resource Centers are committed to enrich the lives of individuals and families in Canadian Armed Forces, CFA, communities through positive action, education, and support. They provide relevant programs and services that empower and encourage strong, independent individuals and families within the CAF.
Perfect. Thank you so much for reading. So basically, all MFRCs have the same basic parameters for practice. However, they are not for profit, So the extra programming sometimes that you'll see from one base to the other can differ based on the needs and the funds of the location. Does anybody have questions as to the MFRC? So MFRCs are located on the bases. Okay, so I have a little game, I guess. There are 32 MFRCs, like I said, in Canada, and out of the 32, there are 7 MFRCs that are part of the pilot. We're going to do a small exercise. If you will look at the top left-hand side of your screen, you will see a big, big blue arrow. This is called a pointer. Click on the pointer, bring it to your current location on the map. So where you're located right now, if you can bring your arrow like this, and like I'm in Ontario, so you just bring it to where you're located.
Oh.
The arrow, there's just a picture on the screen, but if you go further up left, you'll see the big thick arrow there. It's one of the tools.
Why isn't it working for me?
So it's
So Melanie, it's not the picture here. It's above that. It's
yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh, maybe because I have to move it?
You click on it and then you click somewhere on the board. No problem. What we can do is we can share your screen and we can walk you through.
Got it. Okay, it's working.
There you go. Great.
I'm doing it right.
No, that's all part of the fun of learning the virtual classroom, though.
Sure.
Everything's right. You can't break it. We've tried.
Yeah, and this is good, Melanie, because we're going to be presenting to other families who don't know much about WebEx either, so it's a good practice, so don't worry.
Cool.
So what I'm seeing is that we have people all over Canada right now. We have people in Alberta, we have people in Manitoba, and in Ottawa, so this is great. So now that you learned how to use your pointers, we're going to do another small exercise. If you will look at the top left-hand side again and grab your arrows, and then you may unmute yourself because as a group, if you would like to guess where the 7 locations might be by placing your arrows on the map. Okay? This is perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can use my arrow. If somebody wants to tell me where to put my arrow, I can place it because we're not 7.
So Pamela, where would you say?
Right where I am.
What MFRC is that, though?
Hello.
Okay, because it could be Winnipeg, too. Okay, Denise, which one are you pointing to? If you want to put it in the chat.
Right now I'm pointing at Victoria.
Oh, I can hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and Gabrielle, which one are you pointing at?
The one in Ottawa?
Is there one in Ottawa? Okay.
So maybe we'll see the next slide.
Who's on the purple underneath you, Gabby?
I think that's me, and I'm just waiting for direction because I already know the answer. So if someone wants to tell me where to go.
Nicely. And Melanie, where are you? Where's your pointer looking at?
You're muted, Mel.
Okay, sorry. And Quebec City somewhere, I don't know.
Quebec City, okay.
Like Valcartier maybe?
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4, 5. Where's another one?
Are you asking me?
Anybody.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Pam, you beat me.
Where in Alberta?
Edmonton.
Okay.
Edmonton.
So we have Victoria, Edmonton, Shiloh, there's 3, Ottawa, Valcartier, Halifax, there's 6. We're missing one, guys.
What about in Toronto at not Petawawa, the other one there, I can't think of the name.
Anybody?
The base in Toronto
North Bay.
Fordham?
Oh, North Bay.
North Bay.
North Bay?
North Bay.
All right. So are these your final answers? 2, 2, 2.
Well, I thought
There's
it
one
was
more.
the one, Rach, where you did your course.
In Valcartier.
No, the other one.
North Bay, Trenton.
Trenton.
I'm giving you the answers now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Now, excuse my geographical incorrectness, perhaps.
That's okay. So here are the answers on the next slide. So you're right. There's Halifax, Valcartier, North Bay, Trenton, Shiloh, Edmonton, and Esquimalt. So you guys did great. So can anyone guess why these 7 locations have been picked? Please raise your emoticon hand.
Why were they picked?
So Pamela? Oh, you're muted. You just need to unmute yourself.
To meet the diversity within the Canadian Armed Forces.
Yes. So the 3 elements, the Army, Navy, and Air. Can anybody else think of another reason why these 7 locations were picked? Please raise your hand. Denise?
Was it to do with the...
Oh, I can't hear you. Maybe you can write it in your chat.
And Pamela.
Oh.
Pardon?
Did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I can.
So we weren't able to hear Denise. So
Yeah.
You might be able to help her out.
Yes. To spread the pilot site out geographically.
Yes, that's right. So having remote locations and then the less remote locations, seeing how we can look at serving that population. So yeah, that's great. Beautiful answers. You guys are so good. I wonder why. I'm kidding, sorry.
You have a good teacher.
Yes.
Absolutely. And Denise, please feel free to use the chat because your audio is going in and out, but please feel free to add your comments because your comments are valued.
Okay. So now we're going to look at the Family Information Line. So the Family Information Line has, anyone here heard of it or used the Family Information Line? Give me a green check if yes, and a red X if no.
Have you heard of or used the Family Information Line?
I've heard of it, I just never used it, so.
Okay. Denise, can you hear us?
I'll work with her.
Okay, perfect. So, Pamela, what was your experience with the Family Information Line?
I've never actually used it, but
You know of it?
yeah, I know of it and tell clients about it.
Oh, that's good. Cool. So a little fun fact, did you guys know that the Family Information Line used to be the Mission Information Line? So the Mission Information Line was when soldiers were deployed, families could call in for support. And then it changed after our mission in Afghanistan, it changed to the Family Information Line. And the Family Information Line is part of the pilot location. It is a 24/7 phone and email service that offers supportive counseling, information, and referral. The service is completely confidential and all staff are bilinguals, which means they parlent français. Okay?
No Italien ou Espagnol?
No, just the official languages, English and French. Yes, so we're going to look at the next slide. Oh, sorry, we're both using the slides. So the third point of entry to the Veteran Family Program is the FamilyForce.ca website. Give me a green check if you have heard or seen the Family Force website, and a red X if you have never seen or heard of it before. Okay. Oh, I think we might have lost Denise.
Yep, she'll come back.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So this is great. Melanie, you've never seen it or heard of it. You're going to get a tour today.
Sure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we're going to go on a field trip, and I'll show you the Family Force website. So I'm going to share my screen. So your screen might shake a little bit, but I'm going to share it. I'm going to share my desktop with you right now. I'm just going to, okay. And you'll notice that the toolbar will be on the top of your screen. So way, way up at the top, you're going to see a toolbar, and you'll need to bring your cursor, your mouse arrow, at the top of your screen to access the chat tool. you're going to click on the chat tool and the participant tool tab.
So which one, the chat or the participant?
Both.
You want to have both up, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yes. This way, dialogue can continue, and if you have questions, or if you can still use your green checks and your red checks. So if everybody can give me a green check that you're able to click on the participants or the chat. Yay! Perfect. You guys are experts. I'm so happy. So let's go on a field trip. The familyforce.ca. Oh, sorry. So this is the initial entry to the familyforce.ca website. You can pick English or French. So we're going to click on English for today. And to find the Veteran Family Program, you click on our link, Veteran Family Program, and then this is our web page. What's also nice is that you can also find your Military Family Resource Center by scrolling on top, your cursor on top of Canada. For example, Esquimalt is one of the pilot locations. You click on it, and Veteran Family Program is under Esquimalt, so they have all of their information easily accessible for families. Okay, so this is the familyforce.ca website. Does anybody have questions? Raise your hand if you have any questions. All right, so our tour is done now, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're going to go back to the presentation. Okay, and then our next slide. So we're going to do a demographic poll. Margaret? Oh, sorry, I'm just having some technical difficulties. You're supposed to have a poll on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, so all you have to do is pass me the ball so that I can have the permission to share it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. There we go. So I'm going to open up a poll for you to be part of. You'll see it on the right-hand side of the screen. You just click on the answer that you think is correct, and then you would click Submit.
Okay.
So from 2006 to 2011, how many CAF members medically released? In the year 2013, how many? And how many today?
Okay. You have a few minutes to answer. And then once you're done, just click the Submit button at the bottom right-hand side of the screen.
There we go. We've got 1 submit, 2, 3. There should be 1 more. I think that would be you, Rachelle, if you want us to submit.
Oh, I did. My screen is, I don't know if it works, but.
So I'm going to close the poll, and I'm going to share the results. Here we go. So can you see the answers there?
Yep.
Give me a green check if you can see the answers.
So 1 person said 1347, 3, 8,026. In the year 2013, 1 person said 745, 3 said 1190. And today, 2 people said 1,200, 1 said 1104, and 1 said 1234. All right, here we go, Rachelle, over to you.
So here are some of the fun facts. From 2006 to 2011, a total of 8,026 Canadian Armed Force members medically released. So a lot of you got this right, which is good. In 2013, there were 1,190 regular force members and 276 reserve members that medically released. So again, many of you got this one right. And then currently, 1,200 Canadian Armed Force members, 700 spouses, and 850 children. These stats not include parents, siblings, boyfriend, girlfriend, who may provide direct support. And actually, 50% of you got this one correct. there's other stats here. What we thought was interesting is that a lot of our veterans, 70% of them, have a family with 1.2 children under the age of 18, which means that veterans are
0.2 of a child.
0.2. They have a dog, I don't know, but they're young families, which is not what we are normally considered veterans, right? When we used to say veterans in the past, they were a lot older, but now they're a lot younger. And what's also I find interesting is that the injuries are really 50-50. 50% physical injury and 50% is the psychological limitation. So I find it quite interesting because we talk a lot about, in the media, we see a lot of psychological injuries like PTSD, but really it's half-half. So I thought that was kind of like a fun fact to know. Okay, so we're now going to look at the factors that give transition success. According to research, satisfying employment, good mental health, and family social support networks are important factors to a successful transition. If you could all go to the top left-hand side of your screen and find your arrows and click on the factors that you feel is most important to you for a successful transition. So if you want to go on the top left-hand side of your screen and grab your arrows like we did before on the map, and click on the factor that you think is most important for a successful transition. Okay. So I guess, all right, so this is interesting because we're all, oh, well, Melanie and Pamela, satisfying employment, Gabby, mental health. I think mental health is also important. And then, Margaret, you picked family and social support networks. So it varies from one person to the next. That's kind of what I'm seeing from this question. But are there any factors that you would add that is very important to you for a successful transition that might not be one of those three? Please raise your hand if you'd like to share. Is there any factors here that you would add that aren't there? Gabby, you raised your hand.
This would fall under satisfying employment, but also getting education.
So education, yeah. Having access to education?
Yeah.
That might be really important. Does anybody else have any factors that they would like to add to those three?
I have a point on the access to education.
Oh, yes.
So on May 28th and May 30th, MFRC-PEI is hosting a virtual workshop on scholarships, how to find the hidden dollar. And the first session is interactive on how to dispel the myths and how to write a winning scholarship essay. And the second one is actually meeting Support Our Troops and Wounded Warriors and Natasha Wood Foundation and the Royal Canadian Legion so that they can tell us how military and veteran families can access scholarships.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
That'll be good for...
I'll put in the chat for the session if you're interested in joining.
Yeah, and maybe we could share that with the other coordinators as well, because I'm sure that might be something that other families or veterans are interested in.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to go to the next slide.
I have a question.
Oh, yes?
So would that only be available to a family that's like a military family services, like a veteran? Like, or can I, like, because I'm not, like, my family's not, my immediate family's not in military, but my brother was and my brother-in-law was, would I have access to that as well?
Are you speaking about the scholarship workshop?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, cool. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. That's good. In the virtual world, anybody can have access, really.
My words exactly, Rachelle.
I'm learning well, Margaret. So I'd like to share with you a tool that seems to be helping our veterans. I don't know if you've heard or seen the Veteran Family Journal. Give me a green check if yes, and a red X if no. This is, okay. So Gabby, no. Melanie, have you seen the Veteran Family Journal?
No, I haven't, but just.
Okay. I've talked about it.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it, so no.
And Pamela, of course, you've seen it, so that's good. So this is a tool that was developed for our transitioning members and their families. This is the first edition, and a second edition is to follow in the next year. So we're going to go on our second field trip. You guys are lucky. We're traveling a lot today. And I will show you how to access an electronic copy of the journal. However, a paper copy is available through the MFRC, or you can ask for one to the Family Information Line, and a copy can be mailed to you. So I'm going to share my screen again. So it's just going to kind of blur. And then if you go to the top of your screen and you click on Participants and Chat, just so that the interaction can continue. If you have that, can you give me a green check just to know that you've clicked on the Participant and Chat while I've shared my, my desktop? Perfect. Everybody is here with me. So on the familyforce.ca website, you go to the Veteran Family Program page, and at the very bottom, there's a link called the Veteran Family Journal. So before I click on that, I also want to show you that the Veteran Family Journal has been divided in different subcategories and is accessible in PDF forms. So if families need to access specific locations of the journal, it is available for them on a PDF. So I'm going to click on the Veteran Family Journal. And then you click on the arrow to scroll down. I'm not going to, I was using my mouse today and scrolling down with the little thing in the middle of the mouse, and I was giving motion sickness to Margaret. So I'm going to go a bit slower today.
It's recorded. Now all my secrets are out, Rachelle.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what it is, the journal is, there's 32 pages. It's a bilingual journal. So if families go on the familyforce.ca French section, they'll have access to the French version of the Veteran Family Journal. So when you scroll down, you're able to see. So on your own time, if you'd like to browse the Veteran Family Journal, you're more than welcome to, because now you know how to access it. Does anybody have questions? Please raise your hand if you have questions. No? Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing. Now we're done our field trip. And we're back to our original website. Not website, but presentation. My goodness, sorry. And we're gonna view the next slide. So there are some what-if scenarios. In the next few slides, you will use your pointers to claim a row, and then you will have 1 minute to use the text tool to write your answers. Okay? So, a transitioning member is seeking services outside of the 7 pilot locations at other MFRC. What would that look like, or what would happen? So if you can use your blue arrow, which is at the top left-hand side, and you claim a spot, and then you use the T, which is the text tool, which is right beside the blue arrow, and then you can write down your answers. So what if a transitioning member is seeking services outside of the 7 pilot locations? What would happen? And then you can write your answer beside it. And even if you don't know, it doesn't matter. You can write anything down. And once you write your answers down, just remember you need to click away so that we can see your answers.
Give us a happy face when you've got it down. So Melanie has hers. Melanie, very good.
And again, just remember to click away with your mouse so that we can see your answers.
It means to click somewhere else on the board, anywhere else on the board. So I can see yours, Melanie, would not get serviced. I put
I really
refer
don't
to
know if
another
that's right.
section. What's that?
I said I really don't know if that would be right, but
No, that's a great point, because that's what some people might think. Given the same support as the pilot locations, okay, Gabrielle. Now, Pamela, offering official programming to the member and their family.
Funding.
Fantastic. And Rachelle, did you have a point to add there?
So I'm just going to read, offering virtual program to the member and their family. All MFRCs are being given funding to support veterans, so would connect them with a contact at their local MFRCs to see what is available to them at their location. This is an excellent answer, Pamela. This is great. So that is the answer. So we're not turning any veterans away. We're still welcoming them with open arms, and we still are going to find services for them. So, which is a good thing, right? We're not turning any veterans away. Good, so we have another what if question. A veteran or family member who has been released beyond the pilot project timeline is seeking support services. What would we do? So again, if you take your blue arrow and you claim a spot, if you want to take your text tool, which is the T beside the arrow, and write your answers. And just remember to click away once you're done typing. Only a couple. Okay, wow, so you've all answered. So Gabby, you said they would be grandfathered into the program. Pamela, depends on how far their release is from the mandated timeline. If they're only a couple of months off, then would provide service regardless. Melanie, you said timeline would be extended as per each individual case. And Margaret, you said still support them and not add them to the stats. Oh, and Pamela, you added, however, at our MFRCs, we are not turning away any veterans, which is great.
Thank you, Pamela.
Yes, which is really what veterans need. What's been happening so far is that regardless of the timeline, veterans are still being served, whether within the 2-year gap or not. For the pilot, the dollars are going to 2 years post-release, but what we're noticing is that some MFRCs are using their fundraised dollars and still serving the veteran population, whether it's 2 years or not post-release date. So,
Rachelle, do you also find that there's a number of MFRCs that are not part of the pilot program that are assisting veterans?
So far, out of all the all the MFRCs outside of the 7 pilot locations have received funds to help in the transitioning phase, and all of them have been serving the all veterans, whether they're medically released or not. So far, that's the comment we've had because we've been collecting the stats for that. So a lot of the MFRCs are providing stats, and they're actually saying, you know, we're still serving the population outside of the 2 years. And if it's a member that has not been medically released, if they're still asking for help or assistance, they're still doing at least information referral, so they'll find a resource within the community. So they're still providing support. So which is fantastic. Yeah.
Gabrielle, I just had one point I wanted to ask you. If you want to change the color, because sometimes that light blue is hard to see, if you go to the light blue box at the end of the line, at the end of the T line, you'll see a drop-down menu, and if you click on that drop-down menu, you can change your color to red or blue or purple.
Excellent.
For the next time. Your arrow will stay the same color, but your font will change color.
Okay.
Perfect. And I also noticed that Pamela added a sentence here, which is very important. Noticing that there's just as many difficulties with transitioning, whether it's a medical release or not. So what we're noticing is a transition outside of the military is difficult for a lot of people. well, a lot of military individuals, just because it's a culture, right? It's a lifestyle, and to change that, it's very difficult. So there is a grieving process through any type of transition, whether you're civilian or not. So this is a huge transition for our Canadian Armed Force members, and it has an impact whether it's a medical release or not. So great point, Pamela. Okay, so we're going to look at, we have one last what if scenario, which is what if a friend is seeking advice for information on how to better support the veteran and or family member? What would we do? So if you claim your arrows again and write your answers.
What if a friend is seeking advice for information on how to better support the veteran and or family member?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. This is a great activity for conversation and really learning about the program, Rachelle.
Thank you. It's, I like the answers that we're getting. It's interesting. Yeah. So Gabby, you wrote, refer them to an MFRC near you and explain, so near the friend, and explain to them how they can help and what service they offer. Yeah, that's a good recommendation. Just remember to click away from where you're writing so that we can see. So Pamela, you wrote, provide contact information to the friend, request the friend to encourage the member to seek out these services, which is great. Yep, doing information referral, it's good.
Melanie, are you able to click away somewhere else on the board so we can see what you've written? Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Contact the MFRC, which is great. I just want to also encourage the family information line, which is the information referral. It's completely confidential, so they could always give the friends that 1-800 number of the family information line. So there's the MFRC, there's the FIL, and then if they need to know where their local MFRC is, if you remember in the website, there's a map of the MFRCs, of how many MFRCs there are, and where they're located, and their phone number is there. Pamela just added, if the member does not reach out, have the friend be the branch of communication. Yeah, which is a great idea.
I like that terminology as well. The friend is the branch of the communication. Oh my goodness, Pamela, you're right on today.
Oh yeah, I agree. We're actually very lucky to have Pamela as one of our coordinators. She's excellent. So yeah, we're very lucky. So we're going to go to the next slide. I'm going to share a bit of the statistics. Wow, that's a hard word to say today. As to where we are so far. So as of yet, I would like, here I am reading my thing. So, so if everyone can claim a spot on the slide with your arrows, which are located at the top left-hand side of your screen, do you remember the numbers projected of members who are being medically released during this pilot? If you can write that down, if you remember. And you use your text tool, the T beside the big arrow, and write the number of transitioning members during this pilot.
And that's in the last 6.5 months?
So this is during the pilot. So during the pilot, how many members are projected to be transitioned, right? So what was the projection? Perfect. Excellent. So, yeah, the correct answer, Pamela and Gabby, you're right. It's 1,200 members are medically released during this pilot time. So it's an overview so far from October to now, which isn't that many months. We have connected with 633 veterans, 235 spouses, 39 children, 6 parents, and 63 other, which can be service providers, friends, extended family. So we're not even in a full year of the pilot, and we've connected with half of the population, which is really fantastic. Our coordinators on the ground have done a lot of work, and the success of the program speaks for itself just in that, right? We haven't done a year yet, and we've seen just a little bit more than half of the population. So we're very happy and proud of the work that's been done so far. So, next slide. For veterans and spouses, here are common services seeked. So welcome, communication orientation, info and referral, outreach services, employment services, education services, second language focus, which is a resiliency and education program for families. And the numbers are actually quite significant. So is anyone surprised so far with the numbers? Raise your hand if you'd like to share. Like, are you, oh, yes, Margaret?
I find it interesting that information and referral are the ones that the spouses and the veterans have accessed the most. I would have thought it would have been employment services. That surprises me.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, you're right, because that transition phase, but really finding the information and being referred to, maybe we have to maybe compile where we're referring them to. That would be like a good direction. So Pamela, without putting you on the spot, how do you see the stats with the access to MFRC services? Like, do you feel like it should be more employment, or is information referral what you see at your center?
I see a lot of information and referral. For employment, I'm noticing that because I'm seeing members as they're transitioning out, so often the assisted spoke rehab program is already in place for the member.
Yes.
So they're already accessing their education and employment services through their transition. And a lot of the spouses actually already have training in their fields, and they're just looking at getting help with resumes and that kind of a thing, but fairly simple just to get back out there.
Yeah, I guess they still have access to the service, like the military has employment services for the members. Once they've been released, then that service might become more popular.
Yeah, and that's like here we've agreed that like our employment counselor won't provide services until they're actually released.
Mm-hmm. It's like that it's not a duplication of service, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That's great. Thank you for sharing. We're going to go to our next slide. So the family information line. As you can see, the family information line numbers are low. And the reason for it is because the service is confidential, and by telephone, they are not able to identify if the person asking for assistance is a veteran. So it's hard for FIL to capture. So FIL is the abbreviation of Family Information Line. It's hard to capture the data because they can't identify the client, right? So, but they are calling, and a big portion of the calls are veterans. Our familyforce.ca website, which is this website that we went on a tour on. So the Veteran Family Program has had, the page has 4,571 views so far, and people stay on an average of just under 2 minutes. So far, we're happy with the growth of the program. The numbers are increasing as we continue with the pilot, and we're receiving a lot of positive feedback from veterans, their family, and community service providers. So yeah, so the numbers are accumulating with time. So we have come to the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Thank you so much for participating and allowing me to fulfill my final assignment. This has been a great experience for me, and I hope that this presentation will be useful for your centers. So initially, when Margaret and I built this program because without Margaret, it wouldn't have happened. But my goal was to provide an example of the Veteran Family Program from a live to virtual presentation, so that this would give ideas or, you know, a use to our coordinators, so that the coordinators could probably use it and facilitate a live to virtual presentation of the Veteran Family Program in their locations. So,
the beauty of this presentation is that there's already a script and a presentation prepared, so any of the 7 centers can access it and give it to their community members, tweaking the logos and that kind of thing.
Oh, yes. And
before we get to questions, Rachelle,
yes.
I just wanted to share that there's a SurveyMonkey survey in the chat. If you can double click on that, it's a very short survey just to help us to continually improve, and then come back and we'll take your questions and your aha moments.
Do I click on it too, Margaret, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And Melanie as well, if you want to double click on that link.
When I open the link, it opens up into Google Chrome for me, and my Chrome is temperamental. Is there any way I could open it up?
Sure, if you copy and paste it, you can put it into anyone.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, great question.
There we go.
So I'll have to do it through Internet Explorer, I think.
Just let me know if you're still having troubles with it.
No. I'm not on the right thing here. I'm not in the session, and oh, there I am. Okay.
So to get back to the session, you click on the blue and green ball at the bottom of your screen once you've finished the evaluation.
But I can't get to it. I clicked on it, nothing happens.
Okay, can you copy and paste it into your browser?
Copy. Paste.
Is that working for you now?
It seems to.
Great.
April session.
Oh, April, okay.
Yeah.
So would you like me to send, or is that cheating, Margaret? I could send it to Pamela, and then she could just modify it for her center?
Yes, but it wouldn't be your final program.
Okay, so it wouldn't be your final program.
No,
but
yeah, but
you would have
use
it.
That would be awesome.
Okay, so I'll send it. I tried, Pamela, I tried.
Secret.
Pardon me?
I said should have kept it a secret.
Yeah, I should have, but then I think Margaret would have noticed.
Yeah. You can share it you can share this recording, Rachelle, as well as the give and go with all of the 7.
Oh yeah, and I think you sent me a link to the recording, right? Afterwards?
Yes.
So then I can share it with the other coordinators.
Yes, you can.
Great.
Rach?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm into the SurveyMonkey,
Yes.
but I don't see the survey. Like, I have to sign in or what?
Okay, don't worry about it. I'll send it to you in the after-session email. If you want to click on the blue and green ball at the bottom of your screen.
Okay, thanks.
To come back. Gabby, how's it going with you?
I'm doing well.
Well, that's good.
Just click on the blue and green ball to come back when you're done.
Okay, can you see me in my blue and green ball?
No, down below of your screen there's a blue and green ball, and then you'll be able to come back to the...
Oh, that one. Okay, sorry, I was clicking on the...
No.
Thank you for using WebEx. Is that it?
Okay, now you're back. Clicking on the blue and green ball, Melanie, at the bottom of your screen. You'll see a blue and green ball. If you click on that, it'll bring you right back to us.
Okay, got it.
Super. So, grab your pointers on the top left-hand side of the screen again and choose a spot to write down your aha moment, the part that amazed you the most or that you learned today, whether it's about virtual programming or whether it's about the veteran family program. I'll just give you a couple minutes here and give us a green check when you've written something down. Gabrielle's done. The what if questions. You're right, Pamela. Melanie, don't forget to click away when you've written something so we can see it. Great. So Melanie, you like the tools. Okay. And Rachelle, to make sure to look at the panelist chat, I have a for comments. Yes, it's a fine dance, isn't it, Rachelle?
It is. It's quite a learning experience.
What did you like about, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it was a really nice learning experience for me. So, yeah.
I hope it's just the beginning.
Me too, yeah.
And Pamela, the what if, what did you like about that?
I just thought it was a really good way to get everybody involved. I know I was more engaged.
Yeah, absolutely. So every 3 to 5 minutes we try to bring in some kind of activity. And Gabrielle, what did you like about the poll?
Oh, I just liked how it was very clear, it was interactive, and you still got the information you needed from it.
Very good. Well, it's been a pleasure hosting you today. Anything to add, Rachelle?
I just want to say thank you again for participating, and it really helped in my learning experience. And yeah, and I hope you have a good afternoon, or rest of the afternoon.
Thank you for coming. And to exit out, you click on the red X in the top right-hand side of your screen. And Rachelle, if you just wanted to hang tight a little bit, that'd be grand.
Yes.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come to another.